Well, good evening and welcome to our continued and very special programming. We've been tracking the election results through the day, and it's come as a huge surprise. What's taken place in Haryana certainly goes to show once again that perhaps exit polls can decisively not be trusted. We've got experts to perhaps comment on that, but the BJP coming out strong as far as Haryana is concerned, but it's the National Conference and the Congress in Jammu and Kashmir, the first elections there in a decade, who've won these elections. So that's a huge development in that state.
That's right, Vishnu. And you started the morning off, early morning. You were going across to our reporters who were at the Congress headquarters, and they were eating jalebis. No, jalebis.
There were laddus which were out early in the morning.
Jalebis is the mithai of the day, I think. And now you have BJP leaders eating jalebis, taunting the Congress party. There was dhol, nagara, etc. All of that was happening early this morning. But how the picture changed within a few hours, and you have the BJP coming back for a historic hat-trick in Haryana. So lots being spoken about what worked for the BJP and also what went wrong for the Congress party. Where did they get it wrong? A lot of analysis has been taking place through the day on that. But let's also talk about Jammu and Kashmir, where the National Conference and the Congress have got that resounding mandate. Of course, more the National Conference, the Congress, riding on its coattails. Let's go across to Nazir Masoodi now, who just interviewed Omar Abdullah, who is all set to be the next Chief Minister of the Union Territory.
Nazir, what exactly did Omar Abdullah tell you? Go ahead.
Not saying it, he's saying it.
Well, his father is definitely saying it.
Well, Omar is clearly saying Farooq Abdullah has already announced that Omar Abdullah will be the Chief Minister, and Omar Abdullah said it is so gracious of him, but it will be the party's legislature party that will decide, and it would be then the alliance that will decide. These are just technical terms, and then they will go to the Raj Bhavan and stake claim. But the bigger thing was that he said he was not expecting this mandate, a decisive mandate for the National Conference, given the fact that over the last, we have seen more than 2 decades, there was a fractured mandate in Jammu and Kashmir. No party was winning the absolute majority or closer to absolute majority. And
Nazir,
for the first time, somebody has actually crossed that threshold at 20.
Sorry, Nazir, the audio to you is a bit low. We'll come back to
you. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me. No, I just wanted to ask you about the PDP. They contested in 81 seats. They ended up down 25 from last time. Many would suggest that, the future of the party itself, its politics in the valley, the future of that is very much in doubt. What exactly is the PDP, Mehbooba Mufti, Iltija Mufti, what exactly are they saying about what they've done or how poorly they performed in these elections?
Well, it is the biggest setback for the PDP after its formation in 1999. So they have never suffered such a defeat. They were on the rise. Every election they were increasing their seats. But after abrogation of Article 370, we have seen most of the leaders left the party. Some of them returned to the party ahead of parliament elections, but they could not improve their performance. Biggest setback was not that people left the party, but biggest setback was that the people didn't trust them. And that's why they suffered this rout, just winning 3 seats. And on the other side, we have National Conference, which had a 75% strike rate. That is the best any party can hope and manage. And the PDP was really struggling even in these 3 seats, and they hardly managed to win them. So it is now we see the one party in Kashmir Valley. Earlier, votes used to be divided among so many players, and in National Conference winning this mandate, despite the fact there were 44% independent candidates who are seen to be fielded to fracture, divide the votes in Jammu and Kashmir. But that has not happened. Even in the Pir Panjal region, where the BJP had given the scheduled tribe status to the Pahari-speaking community, but it was a decisive mandate for the National Conference in Poonch-Rajouri region as well. And even it is again in the Poonch, where in Naushira constituency, BJP President Ravinder Raina lost, and he was defeated by National Conference Surinder Chaudhary by a decisive margin. So in many ways, it was a historic election because first after a decade was assembly election. Second thing, that first election after abrogation of Article 370, and Omar Abdullah seeing that this mandate is a rejection of BJP's decision of stripping J&K of its special status and the statehood, and then he goes to say that the first thing Prime Minister should now keep his promise which he has made with the people of Jammu and Kashmir and the country, that is restoration of the Jammu and Kashmir statehood, that because government and the Home Minister has been repeatedly saying that first was the delimitation, then elections in Jammu and Kashmir, then the restoration of statehood. Umar Abdullah said this should be done without any further delay so that the people will get the real, fruits of democracy and the governance in Jammu and Kashmir.
All right, Nazir,
Otherwise,
just hold that
it
thought.
would
I'm
be
just going to
because
introduce
we
our panelists at
remain
this
with the
stage.
left.
We've got Shazia Ilmi of the BJP with us, Sanjay Kumar with us in the studio, the well-known psephologist, Swati Malik, the spokesperson of the Congress as well. Sanjay, I must ask you first, at about what, Gargi, 9 in the morning? When we thought that it was going to be a complete rout of the BJP in Haryana, exit polls now disastrously long. It was meant to be very close in Jammu and Kashmir. It doesn't seem to be terribly close this time around. The NC comfortably coming to power. So, as somebody who tracks elections, is into psephology, what does this once again say about the process of psephology? I mean, people want a simple question: can we trust it or not?
Yes, if you look, if you go by the 2024 Lok Sabha elections fiasco and the Haryana fiasco, there's no doubt that the people's trust in exit poll has gone down.
Yeah.
But I don't think the curiosity of the people in exit poll has gone down. Next time again there is an election, you show the exit poll, people will still watch. But
And we'll still discuss it right here.
But I think there is a need for those people, for all those people who do exit poll to do an introspection that why this is happening, and they should stick to the basic output of an exit poll. You have to tell the voters, you have to tell the viewer about the vote share estimate. When you do an exit poll or a pre-poll or a post-poll, you actually get an estimate of votes. So the vote share is a real indicator, because look at what has happened. Almost the same vote share for BJP and Congress. 1% difference between.
In fact, Congress is a little ahead in vote share in Haryana.
Not
anymore.
No anymore. It's a
but yes, 1%, a very slim difference.
0.7% ahead. BJP is ahead in terms of vote share. But look at the seat share.
The number of seats, yes.
So that one has to be very, very cautious. What do you need to put out based on an exit poll?
All right, well, let's go across to Swati Malik, who, it's been a shock for the Congress party today, given the way you started in the morning and what the results were finally, emerged. Congress party, we heard Pawan Khera, Jairam Ramesh talking about how they do not accept this. There was also questions being raised about how long it was taking for the Election Commission to put out the numbers.
Now, again, I'm sure you would have also heard Mr. Khera also say about how many seats he was talking about. So it's not like we are questioning all the EVMs or, washing out entire Haryana. It's only about 13 to 14 seats that he was talking about, where our candidates had lodged a complaint right in the morning at 8:30. That was even before any sort of results coming out, or at the best in our favor. That's when it was, right? That's when those complaints were registered and lodged. So we will take that forward with, as was stated in our press conference. But coming to the election, of course, Haryana, we were expecting a better result. There's no denial of that. Something seems to have gone wrong, that we are not able to convert our vote share into seats, as you were discussing right now. So that, of course, requires an introspection. But yes, there is an increase of 11% vote share this time. We were only, 28% last time. And this time we are 39. So there is an increase of 11% vote share. We are not thrilled with the Haryana results because, like I said, we were expecting much better. We were expecting up to 60 seats. So settling for what we are settling for now is not the ideal scenario. But we will be obviously looking into what went wrong, whether it was the senior leadership, so-called dispute between each other, as the media was trying to project, what led to us not being able to convert. We can't just brush it under the carpet to say, no, we are very happy. We've gained, 8 seats and we've 8%, sorry. And we've gained about, 6 seats. We can't be happy with that. We
no, but
were expected to do better.
Has the Congress party, do you accept that these were fair elections, that the EVM process worked? I asked this because Jairam Ramesh wrote to the Election Commission, and the Election Commission promptly said that, the allegations that he made, or the questions or the aspersions that he cast, were inaccurate. So that being the case, does the Congress accept the response of the EC?
Not right now, Vishnu,
I see.
except for those 15 seats that we are talking about. Because like in the press conference, we also stated that we are collecting all the complaints right now and we'll take it up in the court if need be. First, we'll go back to Election Commission with everybody's complaints together, not just one or two. And thereafter, we will be taking it up with the court if required. So
No, but
we've
what is
we've
the essential
accepted.
problem? The slow count, right, in certain areas. Is that what your concern essentially is linked to? Because the counter argument to that is that you had your booth workers over there, you had people actually monitoring the process in every center. So where was the mistake that was potentially made?
Vishnu, the mistake was these EVMs. Sorry, these EVMs. They had 99% battery in those, and the other set of EVMs had about 60%. So after casting of votes, the EVMs are not supposed to be touched. So how did that happen that there was 60% battery and the other EVMs which had 99% batteries? And it was essentially the 99% battery EVMs where the Congress lost. When those votes were counted, that is where the Congress was losing in those EVMs. So that is what we are going to be taking up with the Election Commission and then when the courts if need be.
Right.
That is
This was the point made by Pawan Khera in the press conference as well. Let's go across to Shazia Elmi, also Manisha Priyam there with us. We'll just come to you in a moment, ma'am. First, Shazia Elmi, congratulations. A historic hat-trick for the BJP in Haryana. Your comments, and we're expecting the Prime Minister to arrive at the headquarters in a short while from now.
Thank you, Gargi. And I would like to say that, I don't know how you don't appear amused at all that is being said by Swati Malik, because I indeed am. Pawan Khera said it today, Jairam Ramesh said it today. If at all they are to cast aspersions on the EVMs, Omar Abdullah will be the first one to take them on. And I don't think they should do it to their own partner, so to speak, and a friend and an ally. So that's one. Two, I think, yes, it just goes on to say that exit polls are more wrong than right, and that's one thing. Haryana, definitely, it's just fantastic. The way across the spectrum, when I see also the vote share, it's fantastic. And if you look at constituency-wise and across different sectors, clearly people have rejected the false narrative of, Jats versus Jatavs and these versus that. They have voted as voters, as citizens,
right?
People who are affected by governance, and they don't want to fall prey to any kind of propaganda machinery that shows them the subs bark, so to speak, and delivers little. So I think that is very, very evident here. And also this whole thing of Jawan, Kisan, and the Pehelwan, and all that movement doing the rounds, and that will really do BJP in, has not worked at all whatsoever. Also, I would like to say where Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, there also it's a very lackluster performance by the Congress party.
Can I just ask you to hold off on Jammu and Kashmir? We'll talk about that at length. I just want to discuss a little bit more about Haryana, bring in Manisha Priyam at this stage. Manisha, if you look at the Congress and its performance, three factors which I can think up off the top: internal strife and factionalism, over-dependence on Jat votes, and leadership and candidate selection. This is obviously in hindsight. The counter-argument is that they had a wave going in their favor, which evidently was not the case. But the 3 points that I've said: internal strife, factionalism, over-dependence on Jat votes, and a candidate selection. Do you believe that these were the 3 reasons why they've lost these elections?
All this is post-facto explanation,
Absolutely.
right?
Always.
We have that benefit now.
All this is post-facto election. Let's first say one thing, that the BJP has won this election, okay? And till, 59 seconds ago, when you suddenly saw the BJP notching up the seats, everybody was concentrated on Jammu and Kashmir, I remember in the morning. And I suddenly noticed the corner where the sides had flipped.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
the
picture
BJP
totally
then
changed.
held on. So I would say this has been the most spectacular turnaround in state elections that I have seen in the 1.5 decades that I've been around. And I can tell you that all today, with due respect, the number cruncher survey business has not been able to explain what has happened in Haryana. And I believe we need to understand that even if there is a wave election, This is what this election is telling you. There are issues of strategy and management that the BJP has done very well, whether it's turning the voters out. Part of it was understood when we spoke about Panna Pramukhs, etc. And second, I think the Congress party never anticipated the game of the opposition. The Congress party had too much going in terms of a pro-Congress narrative. In research terms, we say that when you focus too much on the dependent variable, it gets too close to the outcome, and therefore the research is not plain and clear. Too much narrative that favored the Congress. Was the BJP fighting this election, or it said, oh, because of the narrative the Congress is winning, so I'll go and sleep at home? No. The BJP is fighting this election. Did the media or the researchers on the ground or even the pollsters get the stories about who, for example, from the BJP or the RSS were sitting on the ground and managing these elections? For example, the Jat factor, etc. Will we discuss the fact that Satish Punia, the very important Jat leader from Rajasthan, it's erstwhile BJP leader in the state of Rajasthan, not in the Vasundhara camp, has been camping in Haryana in Rohtak, which is the god of the Jat leadership, for the last 4 or 5 months. And the news that I would get that they would be able to turn this around. So I am not buying any pop theory saying, oh, the Jat versus non-Jat. Maybe the Jats also voted the BJP. Dharmendra Pradhan, for example, parked there. No noise, no message heard on the BJP side. Certainly, very quietly, the elections have been fought by them, won with thin margins, maybe at the nth hour.
Sure. Okay, Manisha, just hold on for a second. I do need to take a short break at this stage because we should be getting
right, and
video
we were
of the Prime Minister
visuals of the Home Minister arriving
in a little while. The Prime Minister will be arriving in a little while. The Home Minister has already arrived at the BJP headquarters. So we'll be cutting across to those images. And of course, the Prime Minister will be speaking in some time from now. We'll be back in just the next few moments.
In the hills, up the street, down the valley, by the sea, palaces and high streets, countrysides and SCZs. We've been here, we've been there, Veka's been just everywhere.
वो मिस्टर विकास की फाइल आप पॉलिसी बाजार मैम आपका हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस क्लेम अप्रूव हो गया है अब आप सर को घर ले जा सकती हैं
क्लेम के टाइम पे हमेशा आपकी हेल्प को तैयार पॉलिसी बाजार 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 390 रुपए महीने से शुरू
कि जिसकी सरकार सेंटर में हुई है उसी की सरकार प्रदेश में होती है
एंटी इनकम्बेंसी को कैसे देख रहे हैं? इनकम्बेंसी नहीं है
प्रो इनकम्बेंसी
कांग्रेस आ रही है भाजपा जा रही है
कांग्रेस इज गोइंग टू फॉर्म गवर्नमेंट इन हरियाणा विद अ बिग मेजॉरिटी
NDTV World Summit 2024, October 21st and 22nd, only on NDTV Network.
कि जिसकी सरकार सेंटर में हुई है उसी की सरकार प्रदेश में होती है
एंटी इनकम्बेंसी को कैसे देख रहे हैं? इनकम्बेंसी नहीं है
प्रो इनकम्बेंसी
कांग्रेस आ रही है भाजपा जा रही है
कांग्रेस इज गोइंग टू फॉर्म गवर्नमेंट इन हरियाणा विद अ बिग मेजॉरिटी
Carter Road, Mount Road, French Quarters, MG Road, HSR, Fountain House, Park Street, Barackamba. We've been here, we've been there, Veka's been just everywhere.
Welcome back. A historic hat-trick in Haryana for the BJP today. National Conference and Congress winning in Jammu and Kashmir. Though the BJP didn't do too badly in Jammu at least, and it gained a few seats there as well. In a short while from now, the BJP at the BJP headquarters, big celebrations to take place. The Prime Minister will be arriving already. Top leadership, a lot of it has arrived there. We saw Home Minister Amit Shah arriving in just a short while from now. And Vishnu, they really want to, emphasize this victory that they've got in Haryana, especially I think after the Lok Sabha election. So there'll be celebrations in headquarters of the BJP across the country. Now, before we went into the break, we were talking about the reasons leading to the defeat of the Congress party, whether it be the Huda factor, infighting, reading it wrong, whether the Jats got too boisterous in anticipation of their victory, and that put off the other caste. But Sanjay Kumar here in the studio with us. Let's talk about what led to the BJP victory, what worked in their favor. Of course, there's brand Modi that one talks about, this formula that the BJP has of changing the chief minister just a few months ahead of elections. Also there, we were speaking about how independence in Jammu and Kashmir did not, dent the national conference. But earlier on in the morning, there was talk about how a lot of the independents, perhaps Jat leaders, strong leaders who were put up by the BJP in various seats could have eaten into that vote as well. So in your mind, what worked for the BJP?
No, one thing is very clear. This is the BJP's victory. And why do I say that? Some facts to be mentioned. Look at 2014 assembly election, BJP's vote share was 33%. Then 2019 assembly election, BJP's vote share went up to 37%. And if you look at 2024 assembly elections, BJP vote share touches 40%. It is not a victory by default that anti-BJP votes got split and by default BJP managed to win election. This is a convincing pro-BJP vote because BJP's vote has gone up. Now, what's the reason? Because we were hearing of Jat, Pahalwan, Kisan, etc., that these sections are unhappy. Yes, I am not ruling out, I am not saying that since BJP has registered a good victory, these were not issues on the ground. There were these issues on the ground, and that is how Congress has also managed to get roughly about same proportion of votes. But I think what has happened is that what Manisha Priyam mentioned, the micromanagement of the election, while there was a noise being created by Congress that there is a massive wave in favor of Congress, but I think BJP workers kept working on the ground. Manisha did mention that if there was a momentum, there was a perception that Congress has gained a massive momentum, does that mean that BJP was sitting at home, they were not contesting election? I think the party workers were working on the ground, the leaders were working on the ground, and we know that all that hard work by the BJP has now paid the dividend.
Sure.
So credit must be given to the BJP rather than saying by default BJP managed to win election.
Let's just talk a little bit about the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. We've got Manisha Priyam also with us. Manisha, if you take a look, we don't have Manisha as yet. In fact, let me, Sanjay, come back to you on this. In fact, the Congress did fairly badly in Jammu and Kashmir. They're down 6 from last time. In 2014, they'd won 12 seats. They're down to 6. The alliance won the election on the back of an incredible performance by the National Conference. And the BJP was up 4 from last time. Clearly not enough. But what explains the National Conference's incredible success this time around? 42 seats, 0 last time.
I think the people really sensed, the voter wanted a change from how the state was being governed. It is no more a state. So there was a big aspiration or big desire among the people that we want state to be restored. And the idea was, since BJP in a proxy manner has been ruling the state for the last 5 years, they wanted a change, and the voters wanted to figure out which is the party which can really bring about the change, which is really in a position to win election. PDP was not in a situation to win election. There were smaller other parties which were contesting in the valley. They did get few seats. So in the voters' mind, it was the NC Congress alliance which could defeat BJP and form a government in the state. I think that's what resulted into a very large or a very decisive victory for National Conference in the valley, and they managed to get a very large number of seats or a sizable number of seats even in the Jammu region.
Right, so much so even Omar Abdullah, seemed somewhat surprised when he, in that interview to NDTV's Nazir Masoodi. We're also joined by Syed Junaid Hashmi, senior Kashmiri journalist. Your reading of these election results and what do you feel worked in the favor of National Conference leading to this astounding victory?
National Conference was able to convey to the people in Kashmir Valley that it's not an ordinary election. It's an extraordinary election. It's about the identity. It's about the identity of Jammu and Kashmir. It's about the people of Jammu and Kashmir. So, and they were able to convince voters that if you do not vote for us, there's no other alternative. the number of alternatives that they had in Kashmir Valley, National Conference was again able to convince people that they are all batting for New Delhi. And if you want your own government, you have to vote for us. This seems to have struck chord with the voters in Kashmir Valley. And that's why this resounding victory for National Conference. They have got 42 seats. And if you add around five rebels in it, National Conference has 47 on its own. So it's like it's a resounding victory, and it's the second highest tally that they have had since 1996. In 1996 they got 57. Today they have 42. On the other hand, Congress could not do well. Congress has got 6 seats. Of these 6, 5 are again from Kashmir Valley. So it's everything on the back of National Conference. And I must credit Umar Abdullah and his party for being able to convince ordinary Kashmiri voters that you have to vote for us. It was very difficult. The Awami Ittihad Party, Jammu Kashmir Apni Party, Jammu Kashmir People's Conference. There were so many alternatives. Everybody turned against New Delhi during the elections, but it is what happened prior to these elections that was there and National Conference was able to micromanage everything. That's why this resounding.
Sanjay, if you talk about identity politics and regional sentiment, which are so key in any Kashmiri election campaign, it just seems that the National Conference has gained this across the state completely at the cost of the PDP. Do you believe it was the PDP's previous association with the BJP, together that formed a government in Jammu and Kashmir, which has perhaps impacted voters in a particular way, that the PDP associated with the BJP, this is a vote against the BJP, and the National Conference perhaps owns that space of regional sentiment?
Absolutely. At this moment, it also looks like that the poor performance of the PDP is likely because PDP has aligned with the BJP, and remember that was an election which PDP contested against the BJP. Yeah. So you are contesting against a party, but when it comes to forming a government, you form the government with the same party. Look at what happened to the JJP in Haryana. Last election, JJP formed government with BJP when they were contesting against BJP, and what has happened to JJP in Haryana. More or less the similar fate of PDP in Jammu and Kashmir. So for the voter, the party which they were able to figure out, a party which can represent the regional identity, a party which can represent the interest of the state as such, and a party which can defeat the BJP at the national level or at the state level, was National Conference. And I think that's why a very large number of voters decided to go along with the National Conference, and we see a very good performance of National Conference, not only in the valley but also in Jammu region.
Junaid, if we talk about Omar Abdullah for a moment, this was somebody who had a shocking defeat in the Lok Sabha elections. Engineer Rashid came out of the jail, defeated him by a margin of about 2 lakh odd votes. At that stage, he said that he wasn't interested in the assembly. He was coerced into taking part in the assembly. He's going to be the chief minister once again, and a resounding victory for him, not in one but in both constituencies that he represented. So in a sense, it is also the resurgence of Omar Abdullah, former chief minister, as once again the dominant leader in Jammu and Kashmir, and certainly in his party.
Yes, it's Omar Abdullah has won both his constituencies convincingly. Badgam as well as Gandharbal. He has retained his bastion while he has done extremely well in Badgam. But Vishnu, my concern is, right now I was hearing Sanjay when he said that National Conference has defeated BJP. Let me correct Sanjay, it's not. National Conference has not defeated BJP. In fact, what has happened is that it's complete communal polarization which has worked and which has benefited National Conference like anything. I'll cite you an example. National Conference has won 42 seats, and of these 42 seats, it has managed to win only 2 seats. It has only managed to win only 2 seats which are Hindu majority. One is Naushera, where the Bharatiya Janata Party president has lost, and the other one is Rambal, where Arjun Singh Raju of National Conference has won. Rest 40 seats it has won from all the Muslim-dominated constituencies. On the contrary, BJP has got 29 seats. They are all from the Hindu-dominated assembly constituency. My worry and my concern is that it looks like apparently it's a government which has overwhelmingly mandate of the Muslim population of Jammu and Kashmir, and it is a government which would be facing an opposition in the Legislative Assembly, which has our overwhelming mandate of the Hindu population of Jammu and Kashmir. So, and secondly, let me talk about this is something which should worry Umar also. I think Umar was talking to NDTV, and Umar said this, that yes, Jammu is a challenge. I'm looking towards this challenge, and I'll try to build bridges. But how will Umar build bridges? That's a big question. And this is the worry. Because it's not like the...
Right, but that was a gracious statement saying that it doesn't mean we'll ignore Jammu and we'll continue to, we will focus and build bridges with them. But let's show you what's happening at the BJP headquarters. And Amit Shah arrived early. And just now, Rajnath Singh, Defence Minister there, arriving in a short while from now, we are expecting. All right, before that, NDTV's Gurpreet Chinna has done an interview with the Chief Minister of Haryana, Naib Singh Saini. Let's just listen in.
We can see the Chief Minister of Haryana, Naib Singh Saini. He is waving his hand to his all followers and supporters also. So these are the pictures and visuals which we are showing at this point of time. How Naib Singh Saini is also waving his hands to all his supporters who had voted him. So sir, so we can see.
लाडवा के लोगों का प्यार है, नमस्कार सर, इनका आशीर्वाद है, लाडवा के लोगों का आशीर्वाद, प्यार, बधाई है आप सबको।
सैनी साहब एग्जिट पोल फेल हो गए सारे।
मैंने पहले कहा था ये सब फेल हो जाए।
We can see the Chief Minister of Haryana, Naib Singh Saini, is getting a huge response, and he is also waving his hand to all his supporters and voters because he feels it's the victory of the people, and that is one of the reasons why Naib Singh Saini, he held a road show to just say thanks to all the voters and supporters who elected him as an MLA from Ladwa constituency, and now he wants to continue this road show to just say thanks to all the voters. With Vijay, Rajesh Kumar, this is Gurpreet Singh Chinna for NDTV.
Well, let's go straight across to the BJP headquarters. The Prime Minister will be speaking there in a little while from now. For that, it's across to my colleague, Aishwarya.
Well, there are celebrations at the BJP headquarters as far as the event is concerned, which is going to start just short moments from now. Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP President JP Nadda, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has already arrived, and now in a short while it would be Prime Minister Narendra Modi who will be arriving over here, and there you can see Haryana एवं जम्मू कश्मीर की जनता का हार्दिक अभिनंदन व आभार. That's the poster that had been placed at the BJP headquarters with large number of supporters gathered over here at the BJP headquarters today morning. It was very dull as there were not many supporters who turned up, but as the day ended and the evening hit, a lot of supporters have arrived over here. आप लोग यहाँ पर आए हैं, प्रधानमंत्री कुछ देर में आपसे संबोधन करने वाले हैं. किसको क्रेडिट जाता है इस प्रचंड जीत का?
देखिए, नो डाउट ये सीधा हमारे देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी की नीतियाँ जो देश में बेरोजगारी दूर कर रहे हैं, जन जन तक योजनाएं जा रही हैं. जहां पहले करप्शन होते थे, आज वहां भ्रष्टाचार खत्म हो रहा है. और मोदी जी के जिस तरह से बिना खर्चा पर्ची के हरियाणा के लोगों में जो नौकरियां गरीबों को लगी हैं और जो 10 साल में डिलीवर किया है. लोग कहते हैं ना कि फैक्ट्री में जलेबी नहीं, जलेबी जिनको यही नहीं पता है जलेबी कहाँ.
गवर्नमेंट हैड वर्क 10 सालों में जो डिलीवर किया है उसके बाद ये नतीजा देखने को मिला है. आप लोग किसको क्रेडिट देंगे इस जीत का? हैट्रिक इस बार हुई है भारतीय जनता पार्टी.
हरियाणा में ईमानदार सरकार चली, चाहे मुख्यमंत्री मनोहर लाल खट्टर जी थे या नायब सिंह सैनी जी थे. डबल इंजन की सरकार, नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी के नीतियों की सरकार की ये विजय है. हमने जातियों में नहीं बांटा, उन्होंने 4 वर्गों में बांटा. अन्नदाता, किसान, गरीब, 4 इनको भागों में बांटकर मोदी जी ने सर्व समाज के लिए काम किया और वही समर्थन आजादी के बाद सबसे बड़ा इतिहास है ये देश में रचा गया जो हरियाणा में तीसरी बार भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनी।
For all these sectors is something that had been that had worked for the भारतीय जनता पार्टी। आपको क्या लगता है क्या फैक्टर्स रहे भारतीय जनता पार्टी की इस जीत के हरियाणा के अंदर?
देखिए, हमारे माननीय देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का मार्गदर्शन और उनकी नागरिकों के प्रति निष्ठा, गरीब, किसान, युवा, महिलाओं, वंचितों के लिए जो योजनाएं हैं पूरे देश के अंदर चल रही हैं, उनको स्वीकार किया है और विकसित भारत की तरफ, भारत 2047 की तरफ बढ़ रहा है, उसको हरियाणा की जनता ने स्वीकार किया है। इसलिए मोदी जी हैं तो
इस हरियाणा की जीत का असर अब आपको लगता है महाराष्ट्र, झारखंड, दिल्ली पर भी पड़ेगा?
देखिए, एक साहित्यिक व्यक्तियों में अभी एक लाइनें बन गई हैं कि हरियाणा में बना है लड्डू, हरियाणा में बना है लड्डू, जम्मू में बनी जलेबी है। लोग कहते हैं ना जलेबी मत बनाओ, सीधा मुद्दे पे आओ, तो राहुल गांधी कोई मुद्दे पे आए नहीं। तो हरियाणा में बना है लड्डू, जम्मू में बनी जलेबी है और आपका हो गया पर्दाफाश। यही लोकतंत्र की खूबी है। हरियाणा में 1000 वोट से भी कम हर सीटों पे मिले हैं। अभी समय का क्या रुझान था, लेकिन जब मैं देखा तो मतलब हरियाणा में आम आदमी पार्टी की जमानत जब्त हो गई और दिल्ली में भी जब्त होने वाली है।
After the exit polls, the workers who were not much enthusiastic, now the happy faces can be seen over there, enthusiastic workers at the BJP headquarters. किसको देंगे जीत का क्रेडिट? इसका असर पड़ने वाला है आगे वाले चुनाव पर?
ये चुनाव है लोकतंत्र की जीत का। इस पे झूठ का और बुलबुलों का दोनों का हिसाब जनता ने किया है। जलेबी फैक्ट्री को बंद किया है, झूठ की फैक्ट्री को बंद किया है, किसानों के झूठे आंदोलन को समाप्त किया है, पहलवानों ने जो गलत आरोप लगाए थे उसका सफाई हुई है और ये लोकतंत्र के इतिहास में पहली बार सर्व समाज ने 36 बिरादरी ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट किया है। ये हम सब के लिए सौभाग्य की बात है कि देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री श्री
verdict of Bharatiya Janata Party in the state of Haryana. But let me show you again these visuals. Two massive screens had been placed all over the BJP headquarters. Supporters have gathered over here. These are enthusiastic supporters, and that's what something that the energy has been transformed after the huge victory of Bharatiya Janata Party in the states of Haryana, and of course, having a comfortable seats in the state of Jammu and Kashmir as well. Few more supporters over here who have gathered to hear from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. किसको देंगे आप जीत का क्रेडिट? लगता है कि इसका असर पड़ेगा आगे वाले चुनाव पर?
देखिए, ये जीत जनता की जीत है। जनता ने हमेशा हमारे मोदी में विश्वास किया है। पूरे हरियाणा की जनता ने मोदी जी के विश्वास करके फिर तीसरी बार हमारे देश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी को लाया है। हम धन्यवाद करते हैं पूरे हरियाणा की जनता का, जिन्होंने तीसरी बार भाजपा को हरियाणा में लाई।
So credit goes to both Nayab Singh Saini and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but I'll tell my camera person to keep showing these visuals as Vinod Tavade had just announced that Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has also arrived along with Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP President JP Nadda. They are all waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. With the BJP cadres over here will give him a rousing welcome as far as the win is concerned, as they are giving credit to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The rallies that he has done in the state of Haryana, there you can see visuals of the supporters dancing on the tune of doles at the BJP headquarters coming from different parts of the national capital. And very shortly, Prime Minister is also expected. Jalebis are also being served, firecrackers being busted at the BJP headquarters over here, and certainly a mood that had, that BJP would certainly want to continue as far as the upcoming elections of Jharkhand, Maharashtra and Delhi is concerned. And the similar slogans were also heard from the stage as well, that Haryana में अब जीत दर्ज हुई है, अब दिल्ली की बारी है, महाराष्ट्र की बारी है और झारखंड की बारी है. That's a message that the BJP want to send across to the cadres as well. And certainly, just in a short while, Prime Minister will be arriving over here at the BJP headquarters and will be addressing to the cadres.
Aishwarya, they're reporting from the BJP headquarters where the Prime Minister is going to be arriving shortly and he will be addressing the cadre, the workers there who are, as you could see, jalebis and dhol nagara happening. Vishnu, in the morning it was happening in the Congress office. And I'd like to go across to Sanjay Kumar just before the Prime Minister arrives on this issue of what these election results mean. And we can see this, it's going to be a big speech and celebrations. And to emphasize this Haryana victory, they're also having celebrations in other BJP headquarters across the country as well. So this momentum that they hope will carry them as well in Maharashtra and upcoming elections in Jharkhand.
No, look at first what would have happened if BJP had lost Haryana. Because the BJP seems to have lost the momentum after not performing so well in 2024 Lok Sabha elections. If BJP had lost Haryana, the slide which had started, it would have got confirmed to a great extent that the BJP is sliding and BJP would have been in a difficult situation in Maharashtra election. Now, after some kind of a demoralizing effect on BJP's cadre because they lost 63 seats in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, this is seen as a comeback and a reinforcement that no, yes, BJP did perform very well in the Lok Sabha election, but that doesn't mean that BJP is on the slide. This is a comeback. So BJP will go into the Maharashtra elections and some of the coming assembly election like Jharkhand, Delhi, and next year by end of the next year it is Bihar. So BJP's cadres are jubilant, voters are jubilant, and the dampening spirit which seems to have come a little bit, I am not saying to a great extent, that it's a kind of a sign of revival for the BJP. So I think all good for BJP to go into Maharashtra assembly elections.
Right, and definitely
Jharkhand
capitalizing on this victory and on the reverse, what does this mean for the Congress, isn't it, Vishnu? What does this now mean for the Congress, given that already one was hearing about friction in the between the alliance partners, the
strikes me,
Thakre Shiv Sena Congress? Yes.
Is that quite besides the caste factor, and Sanjay, you may want to come in on this, none of the themes which many people thought would work for the Congress, whether in a state like Haryana, the entire Agnipath scheme, number one, number two, farmer protests, right? And number three, the entire issue of infrastructure. Gurgaon is the size of a small country. None of this worked in favor of the Congress. It's just it's bewildering at one level.
No, I would slightly disagree that I won't say that since BJP has managed to win election, then there is no issue of Agnipath, there is no anxieties among the farmers, or there is no issue of unemployment. These are the issues on the ground. But I think what has happened is that these issues concern sections of voters who seem to have voted in a very, very large number for the Congress. And that is how Congress managed to reach almost 39-40% vote. If you look at the vote share difference between BJP and Congress, it is just 1% difference. But what seemed to have happened is that on various other accounts, people seem to be happy with BJP's government about the performance of the state government on issues like Bijli, Pani, Sadak, health, education, etc. So that seems to weigh slightly heavily against the dissatisfaction people had on the issue of Kisan, Naujawan and Pahalwan. I think that worked in favor of BJP, and Congress miscalculated. Congress party believed that only on the issue of anxieties among the people on the account of Jawan, Kisan, Pahalwan, they would be able to sweep the entire state. So I don't agree that these issues were not present at all. Yes, but it had a limited impact on the voters' voting choices, not to the extent as Congress would have believed.
What about the JJP? The fact that they won what? They didn't.
Less than 1% vote.
Right, and no seats, right?
No seats.
So therefore, would it be fair to say that contrary to what many expected, the JJP people, those who voted for them, actually crossed over to the BJP and not in favor of the Congress?
It seemed that may have happened because if I look at the various survey estimate, various studies which we have conducted, even if we were looking at the Jat vote, the Jat consolidation behind Congress, but what does consolidation mean? It is to the tune of roughly 60-30, 60% for the Congress and 30% for the BJP. If we look at the Dalit vote, so Dalit vote doesn't seem to be consolidated heavily in favor of the Congress party. Even among the Dalit, we see a pattern. The pattern is, if you look at the Jatav are tilted in favor of the Congress, but non-Jatav Dalits have voted more in favor of the BJP and less in favor of the Congress. So the communities which seem to have favored the Congress is Jatav, Jat, Muslims, which are 7% of total voters, and Sikh, which are 4% of the state's population. But if you look at BJP's vote share, BJP has managed to get inroads among, or BJP got a very large number of votes among the Punjabi Khatris, the upper caste, the OBCs, the non-Jatav Dalits, and the what we call the Ahirwar belt, the Yadav voters in the Mahendragarh Rewari belt. So that is why we see an almost
and do you think that vote got consolidated because of this boisterousness among the Jats in the state, given that the Congress had, put Mr. Bhupender Hooda was in charge? It seemed that the Congress was coming, and as we one hears happens in UP as well with the Yadavs, etc. The Jats got very boisterous, and that, in a sense, made the OBCs go on in the other direction.
Yes, that may be one of the factors, because there was a lot of noise about Jat consolidation, yes. And we know that if you travel to the rural India, rural Haryana, you get a sense that there are communities who may be living together, but they look at each other with lot of suspicion. If we talk about, say, Rajasthan, so there is a lot of fear among the people about Gujar becoming a chief minister, power going in the hands of the Gujar. So that kind of an anxiety may be having among the voters belonging to different other castes, that if the power goes back to the Jat, who have been on margins of political political circles during last 10 years, so they may be at the receiving end. So a lot of emphasis on the Jat voters by the Congress may have helped BJP in consolidate the other OBC vote, which has gone in favor of BJP in a big way.
How does this translate into a pattern or a trend or an influence in the forthcoming assembly elections?
Forthcoming election, I think the first Maharashtra goes to poll. So now BJP will, go into that election with a kill. The first test is going to be seat sharing arrangement with the allies. So if BJP had not performed well in Haryana, BJP would have been under pressure by the allies for conceding more and more seats. Now BJP will try and put pressure on the allies so that BJP is able to snatch as many seats as possible. And I think the allies, the Shinde group of Shiv Sena and Ajit Pawar's group of NCP, they will be now a little cool and calm. They will have to concede more seats for the BJP, because they will also get a sense that Prime Minister Modi magic is still working. BJP still has a sizable support base, because when the narrative was that BJP is nowhere in the contest and Congress is winning election, they were able to win elections even in Haryana. So it is going to have a big impact on how elections will unfold in Maharashtra. First about the alliances, and then BJP's own cadre will get more jubilant when they go into elections.
And also now let's talk about the Congress, because there was talk of friction between the Congress and the Thackeray Shiv Sena and the NCP, and all this jostling around who will be the chief ministerial face, etc. So now, given this defeat that they've had in Haryana, the Congress a little more tempered, more willing to come to agreements with alliance partners?
See, the alliance partner which Congress is heading, they have already worked out a seat sharing arrangement in Maharashtra. It is 100, roughly 180, 2 and 4. So I don't think this is going to affect the seat sharing arrangement with the Mahagathbandhan.
Sure, but there was some friction being spoken
about. Yeah, there was some friction. Congress, maybe the alliance partner will put some more pressure on the Congress to maybe concede some more seats. But I think the big impact is that the perception which got created that Congress is on a comeback, Rahul Gandhi has become more popular, Rahul Gandhi's ability to pull votes for the Congress has increased, that will still again get a dampened impact, the dampening impact of the defeat of Congress in Haryana and poor performance in Jammu and Kashmir.
If we take a look, Sanjay, at some of the reasons why the Congress hasn't done well in Haryana this time, the lack of a chief ministerial face, and a failure to consolidate the anti-BJP vote, along various lines. Let's talk first about a clear lack of a chief ministerial face. Different leaders were saying, I'm also in the race to be CM. Time and time again we see this in the Congress.
I don't think that lack of a chief ministerial face would have hampered the Congress, but I think the infighting or the sense voters were getting that this is not a united group. if Congress comes to power, maybe they will not be able to provide a stable government. That may have hampered Congress chances, that may have dissuaded some voters who may have liked to vote for the Congress. But just projecting a CM face, maybe if that would have helped the Congress, I don't think that would have helped Congress to, get a victory. But yes, if you don't project as a united house in front of the voters, voters don't get enthused in voting in favor of the Congress, especially among those who are seen as the what we call the swing voter. The loyalist voter will go and vote for you, but not the swing voters who tend to look at the chances and tend to look at the prospects of election.
But what about the failure to consolidate the anti-BJP vote? Now, I know this may not have really been a factor when it comes to actual seats, but voter percentage-wise, the JJP with the ASP, the INLD with the BSP, the Congress seemed to be unable to take advantage of those who were opposing the BJP.
See, in any election, we can't expect only two political parties to contest election. So, what was the scenario before assembly election? Congress wanted to form an alliance with Aam Aadmi Party. Hypothetically, if Congress had managed to form an alliance with Aam Aadmi Party, would that have helped Congress? Not to a great extent, because Aam Aadmi Party has not been able to get more than 2% vote. I think 1.5% votes or something like that. And there was no effort by the Congress to put up a united front against the BJP, bringing the BSP and the JJP and other small INLD to its fold. Had Congress even made an attempt to do that, I'm not sure whether that would have helped, because then all the consolidation would be like pro-BJP and anti-BJP votes. So I don't think that Congress managed to lose this election because anti-BJP votes got
they didn't take advantage.
Yeah,
of it.
Right.
I don't think that the anti-BJP votes got fragmented. Congress managed to get 40% vote. Look at the vote share of all others. It is only 20%, less than if you compare it with previous assembly election, it is slightly less compared to the previous elections.
Right.
It's just unbelievable.
When one thinks of the also dynasties in Haryana, Devi Lal, Bhajan Lal, Bansi Lal, Shruti Chaudhary joined the BJP and therefore she's won her seat. But it really is the moment for them too to think about their future. But so we're bringing you these visuals from the BJP headquarters, where in a short while from now, Prime Minister Modi will be arriving and addressing the cadre, the BJP enthused with this historic victory in Haryana, where all the exit polls had predicted a victory for the Congress party. The Congress was ready early this morning with dhol, nagara and jalebis at their headquarters, but in mid-morning the entire picture changed and we saw the BJP taking the lead and then consolidating that lead in Haryana, and now a resounding victory and ready to really capitalize on that, Vishnu, with this, and after the Lok Sabha results, to show that that was, yes, what happened in the Lok Sabha happened, but it doesn't mean that Modi is not there, and also wanting to use this victory to, as a momentum going into elections which are coming up in Maharashtra and
I think we should change our headline and make it anti-incumbency. What's that? How could it's astounding.
In fact, they
at
talk
so
about
many levels.
pro-incumbency every time.
No,
BJP
Vishnu, there is no sign of anti-incumbency. If a party,
None.
there is no anti-incumbency at all. If the party's vote share has gone up, how can you say that there is an anti-incumbency?
And even in Jammu and Kashmir.
Exactly, there isn't. So
there
what's
isn't.
that question mark? The fact that the BJP is coming back for the third time, it's remarkable. And for various reasons, the larger question on whether it is as much the Narendra Modi factor as it has been in the past, or basic issues of governance evidently having been successful or popular, we can debate that. But the fact that you've got a state government coming back for 3 times, that's absolute. And a change in chief minister so soon so late or just prior to the election, that's remarkable.